Hey folks, Simon T. Bailey. I am so glad that you are here. Awesome. I am so excited about sharing with you the perfect pitch, 3 secrets that I use to build a 7-figure business. I'm going to take you inside this program. You are going to receive a 20-page workbook that you can download and begin to fill in as I walk you through exactly why speaking is the new marketing. I'm going to help you understand your message, your audience, and how you set up the pitch to ask for the sale, to close the deal. I'm going to share with you some research that I think is imperative as to how I started this journey and why you can do the same thing. So many times people ask me, Simon, how did you leave Disney? And in 16 years, build such a robust business. I'm going to share that with you because I'm going to take you behind the rope and I'm going to say, here's what I did, here's how I did it, here's why you can do it as well. You're also going to receive my perfect pitch proposal. That's right. This is what we use in our business every single day to pitch to clients to bring me in as a speaker, as a presenter, to help embed solutions to a problem in their organization. I am going to give you that perfect pitch proposal at the end of this time together. So for the next hour, get ready to engage your head, your heart, your hands, in understanding that you have the ability to give the perfect pitch, to close the deal, and to build your business. And so this next hour, I think, will be very, very beneficial. In fact, I know it would be beneficial to your future as you think about building your business. So listen, just wanted to take a few moments and I invite you to dive in. Don't hesitate. And also, don't forget, everything that I teach you, make sure that you share it with someone else because when you share it once, you learn it twice. It reinforces what you heard the first time because you're now sharing it with someone else. All right? So listen, get ready to experience the perfect pitch, 3 secrets to how I built a 7-figure business. It was just I took the side hustle and just made it happen. And you can do the same as well. All right. Take care. Oh, brilliant one. All right. So listen, I want to get right into this. If you are on social media tonight, we ask that you would use this hashtag in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If it's repeatable, it's tweetable, and certainly want you to share what's resonating with you. We would ask that you would turn off your phone and close the door. You have made an investment in this time, and we really, really want it to be valuable for you. We don't want you to be interrupted or feel like, oh my goodness, I got to stop, take care of this, take care of that. We really, really want you to lock in and focus on getting maximum value out of tonight. All right. So here's the deal. I believe that you are in the right place at the right time. You have made the decision to show up. And I understand that you might want to turn your side gig into a full time business. You also might be here because you're saying, Simon, I need to get investors into my business. You might be saying, I want to scale my business. Or you might say, you know what, I'm ready to do something different. You feel that itch, you feel that nudge that it's time to do something else. And I believe it's certainly, you got to look at how you're pitching yourself. So I'm going to give you the coordinates of exactly how I did it, because as a successful entrepreneur who went from a side gig to a 7-figure business, I know what it takes. I've been there, done that, and I continue to do it. And I can help you get there quicker and faster with a lot less pain than it took me. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. Now, here's what I know. You've done the work. Yes, right? You have absolutely done the work. And in doing the work, I want to invite you to give yourself permission to stop living someone else's dream and start crafting your own.
I want you to sit back, grab your coffee, because you're about to learn the missing piece to the puzzle of your future. It is my belief that speaking is indeed the new marketing. It really, really is. And speaking is the new distribution channel. And you're going to hear me talk about that as we go throughout this evening. Now, here's the deal. The one thing that I know, speaking or presenting, is the one skill you need to build and accelerate your business. Every one of you listening to me right now, you are the solution to a problem. So you're probably saying, Simon, what is a pitch? A pitch is simply how you present, how you position, and how you provide a solution to a problem. When you pitch, you are establishing if you're believable, credible, and reliable. And when that happens, I believe people connect with you during the pitch, but it's all in how you tee it up. Now, some of you might be saying, you know what, Simon, as I think about pitching, I'm looking for investors, or you might need to make a media pitch. Years ago, I wanted to pitch the $1 Million Roundtable, which is a group in the financial and insurance industry, and I had to send them a video. And ladies and gentlemen, if the truth be told, for 9 straight years, I sent them my video and I got a Dear John note saying, nope, you're not ready. And finally, in the 10th year, I think they just felt sorry for me. In the 10th year, they said yes, and they selected my pitch video out of 100, actually out of 800 videos that had been submitted. And I was able to present to 9,000 of their best customers from 72 nations. But that was a pitch. Some of you might be saying, Simon, I've got a job interview, and you have to begin to look at a job interview or promotion, not about fitting the role. I sent this out on LinkedIn the other day. It's time out for trying to fit into a role. It's about how can I enhance this position, this opportunity. Some of you might have a book that you've written and you want to pitch that book to publishers. I'll share with you my experience as it relates to that. And certainly many of you are putting together your proposals where you are pitching people on why they should work for you or work with you. And here's something that we have done. I am so excited because we have put together a pitch proposal. That's right, the actual template that I use to position how I intend to solve a problem and address the pain in an organization. I will give you the exact outline of how I position myself, the problem we solve, and how our content is going to be a solution to that client. And I know I might be a little redundant, but I'm saying that because when I started out, there was no pitch proposal template that I could look at. So I want to give this to you because it can be intimidating to get yourself in front of the people you know and the people that can help you grow. So sending a proposal in advance will help you be clear and ensure that they see you in a fresh new light. Now, you're going to want to grab this document so that you can start applying the information in your business right away. So I want you to stick around to the end to get this. Guess what? Absolutely free. Okay. So this pitch proposal, which I have used to pitch 6-figure contracts, you're going to get it for free. It's my gift to you. So you're probably saying, okay, Simon, this is great. What was your aha moment? And why did you and the team decide to put together the perfect pitch? And so if you've known me for a while, you know I'm a storyteller. So not too long ago, Melissa, who's our business operations manager, set up a call for me to pitch me working with a $100 billion privately held company. This would be the second time that we would work with them. The last time we worked with them, they took me to Halifax, Nova Scotia, had an amazing time there, had a great connection. They remembered me, and so they went back through the agency that we had worked with last time. They set up the call, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I pitched but I totally bombed. I mean, totally bombed. And I knew that I bombed, but I couldn't get out of my way. And you're probably saying, well, Simon, did I log into the right webinar? You're going to tell me how to pitch and you bombed. Well, see, here's the deal. Everybody wants to talk about success, and we will. But the last time I looked in the dictionary, failure comes before success. So my aha moment was, wait a minute, I totally failed. And here's the deal. The client teed up and said exactly what they were looking for, and I took notes, but I had programmed in my head what I wanted to say and totally missed it. So when we got off the call, Melissa and I reconnected, and I said, Melissa, I like totally blew that one. And she said, yep, you did. And so the agency that we had worked with, they called us a few weeks later and they said, I'm sorry. And these are the words that any entrepreneur hates hearing. They've decided to go in another direction. And the reality is, it's because the pitch was that bad. So I got a chance to redeem myself. And sure enough, we worked with another client. We were able to win that business. So excited about working with them. But I said, wait a minute, that's my aha moment. So here are the three things I want to make sure that you get. These are the three secrets of the perfect pitch. And I want to make sure you walk out of the door, you take them with you, and don't forget these three things. How do you make it real? How do you make it relevant? And how do you really elicit that response? Okay. And I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that in a moment. So you're probably wondering, okay, this is great. What's the backstory that led me down this path? So I used to work at Disney. My last job was the sales director for the Disney Institute. And I noticed that there were a number of facilitators at Disney Institute that whenever they presented, they got promoted. And I started wondering, wait a minute, what's going on here? And they got promoted into great roles throughout the organization. So I said to myself, you know what? If I am going to have a long-term role in the organization, I got to make sure that I present or at least get the opportunity to get in front of the right organizations, the right executives, so they can see me in a new light. So sure enough, I moved from the sales side of Disney and the resort sales side over to Disney Institute. And Disney sent me to Paris to design a leadership program for 1,000 leaders out of Barclays Bank out of London. And while I was there in Paris, I said, remember who you are. You are more than what you have become. I like literally hit this moment. And when I came, I went to my room that night in Paris, asked myself three questions. What would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? What would I do if no one paid me to do it? What makes me come alive? And I said, oh my goodness, I want to speak, write, train, consult, and coach. But as fate would have it, I came back from Paris. They promoted me into a leadership role. And Mickey Mouse rule number one is that you never talk to the media unless authorized. Well, one day I got a call from a journalist. He said, where do you see yourself in 10 to 15 years from now? And I said, I see myself as the president and CEO of the Walt Disney World Resort, and eventually the chairman and CEO of the Walt Disney Company. He puts this in print. This is not digital Botox. So if you're looking over my left shoulder, you'll see the Mickey Mouse topiary behind me. And my boss called me in the office. He's like, what were you thinking when you did this interview? I said, Larry, I work at this company whose motto is, if your heart is in your dreams, no request is too extreme, for when you wish upon a star, it makes no difference who you are. Funny today, not funny then. So I got a call from one of the senior executives. His name is Jim Lewis. Jim is still a dear friend to this day. And it was like a scene out of the movie Clear and Present Danger. So he calls me and he's like, do you need me to go to the president on your behalf? Because this is really bad. I was like, no, I'll be fine. So, and ladies and gentlemen, I am not making this up. This is no embellishment. This is the God's honest truth. So a couple of hours later, HR shows up. And they said, would you please sign right here? So I signed this little piece of paper that went into my personnel file. And let's just say Disney didn't fire me that day, but about a year later, I heard the footsteps coming and they were not singing It's a Small World after all. So I decided to do the unthinkable. About a year later, I decided to cash in my entire 401k with significant Disney stock. Took out a line of credit on the house and decided to go for it. Turned down 4 jobs, 2 vice president's jobs to go and work at smaller companies, a senior director position for FlexJet, which was a division of Learjet to head up all customer care for Learjet owners in the world, and an internal move at Disney because I think one of the senior VPs felt sorry for me. And I turned them all down to begin this entrepreneurial journey 15 years ago, because here's the deal: there will never be a perfect time to become the person you might have been. When it is time for you to soar to another dimension, you will become uncomfortable being comfortable. And when that happens, it's time for you, as you think about your life, that either you're going to go for it or you're going to stay where you are. And even getting out 15 years later, there are still risks and things that I've done. But here's the other thing. You see my beautiful children there. Madison, my baby girl, 16, who told me she's going to be CEO of Vogue magazine. And I was like, you go, sister. And Daniel, my son, 19, just started college. And I had to apologize to them not too long ago because for the last few years, I have been asking them, what do you want to be when you grow up? And what I recognized, that was not the right question. The question I should have been asking Daniel and Madison is, what problem have you been created to solve? So now I am helping them think about life is nothing but a pitch. Every single day, you are pitching yourself in some way, shape, or form by how you think, by what you say, by the questions you ask, by how you show up. So if you want to build or grow your business, learning how to give a compelling pitch presentation will dramatically increase your odds of getting there. Okay, so enough of the setup. Let's get into it. Okay, so if you haven't written this down already, I want to make sure you capture this, that the three secrets of the perfect pitch is: how do I, first of all, make it real? How do I demonstrate relevance? And how do I elicit a response? Over the course of my career, and I have been working for the last 30 plus years, I've worked for 6 different companies, 10 different jobs. And after leaving Disney, I've worked with almost 1,700 organizations in 46 countries. I've invested about 57,000 hours. That's not a made up number, it's true. About 57,000 hours of pitching, speaking, and presenting. I'm not a weekend warrior. This stuff is the bread and butter of my business. And based on years of trial by fire and learning what actually works in the marketplace, what I'm about to share with you, I believe, is going to be the tripwire, will be the key that you put in the lock to open the door for your new opportunity. So when I talk about making it real, it's really understanding that if speaking is the new marketing and the distribution channel, how do I show up and make it real? And here's the deal. Internal transformation equals external execution. All right. Now, what does that mean? Here's the net. When you have done the work on yourself, who you are at the core is more important than what you pitch. Because when you pitch, people are connecting with you on a frequency. And as they connect with you on that frequency, they begin to resonate with you during the pitch. And when you are happy, healthy, and whole, when there is an alignment of head, heart, and hands, when you are fully in that moment, and that person knows that you are making it real, that you have showed up 100% in the moment to be your authentic self, then you're making it real. They connect with your truth because at the core, whatever you are pitching, you believe. Now, here's the deal, make the note. If what you're pitching does not move you, it will not move them. So, in other words, if you're kind of just like, I'm just kind of here, just happy to be here, people are going to be like, whatever, whatever. One of my biggest issues with uh, those who sometimes teach how to pitch and present and public speaking is they tell you, stand here, pause for 3 seconds, give the pregnant pause. And I teach those things, but when you make it real, you got to step back and say, how am I showing up? And I'm not saying you got to go through a car crash or some catastrophic event has got to happen to you, but you do have to come to the end of yourself and move into deeper meaning. And deeper meaning is when I do the work on myself, I recognize it's not about having information that is a mile wide and an inch deep, but it's an inch wide and a mile deep because I've asked myself the tough questions. So, some of you may or may not know that on Father's Day, Goldcast posted a video to Facebook of me sharing just how I'm getting deeper, how I'm making it real. And as of today, this video that has gone viral has over 59 million views. Every time we update it, we have to update our information even more. And so that video was posted on Father's Day this year, just a few months ago. It was from Success Live, and thank you to my friends at Success Magazine. And I just showed up on the stage just to tell my truth. Now, while I am a professional speaker, I believe making it real applies to anyone, anywhere who is sharing a message with a person or a group of people. This is especially important when you're pitching. If you don't come across authentic, the client doesn't trust you or anything else you're saying. Sometimes sharing a bit of yourself is exactly what you need to move beyond communication into connection. So at Disney, I learned that the person who speaks up early and often gets noticed and is seen as a leader or a person with an opinion, something to say, something that matters, something that is really, really important. And I believe as entrepreneurs, it can be easy to put our heads down, focus on our work, and grind our way into the ground. How many of you can relate to that? If you can relate to that, just say Simon, I can totally relate. You can put your hand up, or you can put a note in the chat box. Say, "Amen, brother. Amen. I am with you." Right? So yes, all of you are saying amen, hallelujah. Uh not hasta la Bible. I'm sorry, that came out wrong. But yeah, so listen, don't forget to tap into what you're passionate about. This is vitally important to have as a foundation before you ever get into a room to pitch. Learning to communicate your passion is a key ingredient to turning a side gig hobbyist into a full blown business owner. So, when you think about this, I just want you to think, am I passionate about what I'm doing? How am I showing up? So, for me, this whole journey of being passionate about brilliance and everything that we've been talking about for the last 15 years really started with this gentleman. His name is Mark Sharona, and a number of years ago, and I wanna just go to the webcam just for a second because I gotta share this with y'all. So a number of years ago, Dr. Sharona said to me, "You weren't born to fit in. You were born to be brilliant." And when he said it, ladies and gentlemen, it was like the 4th of July fireworks went off in me. Boom! Because no one ever told me that I was born to be brilliant. So for the next few years, I went on this journey of trying to understand. You know how they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear? Why did this teacher appear to tell me that I was born to be brilliant? And I said to him, I said, how can you say that? You're a white man. And he said, Simon, when my wife Ruth and I got married, we adopted 2 young African American boys. And we've been telling them what they could be instead of what they couldn't be. You're stuck in your mind and your body thinking the pigmentation of your skin is holding you back. And I'm here to tell you, you weren't born to fit in, you were born to be brilliant. So, literally, that started this whole journey of me leaving Disney to now kind of move out into the land of the unknown to figure out what is this thing I was born to be brilliant. And when I accepted it and I decided to walk into it and own it, all of a sudden my life changed. All right. So here's the deal, all of you listening to me right now, you were born to be brilliant. There's something that you're carrying. So I recognized that I had to begin to find a way to pursue my brilliance, get after it, make it happen every single day. So here's the deal. You're probably saying, okay, Simon, what do I do next? Well, once you know what you're about, make cold calls, conduct small tests. You need to get the hours in of speaking on your feet in front of strangers. It can be to one or to many. If you're a graphic designer, design a logo for a friend. Go through the discovery process with them. Refine your review process. Get some feedback before you land a bigger client. This is all a part of the pitch journey. If you're interested in consulting, do some work for nonprofit organizations. Conduct in person trainings and meetings to see how you do, what lands, what feedback do you get, what connects. This is what I did in the early days of my side gig. I was writing in the early mornings and then beta testing material in front of individuals doing speaking gigs on the weekends. That's right. Whatever industry you're in, find a way to get in front of people and conduct a small test. Do not get stuck by creating this build up in your mind that you have to have it all together. And some of you listening to me right now, everything's got to be so perfect, right? Listen, it's all about ready, aim. It's all about ready, fire, aim. And that instead of ready, aim, fire, it's about ready, fire, aim. Figure it out because I believe failure is not final, failure is only feedback. And feedback is the breakfast of champions. All right. So, whatever industry you're in, find a way to get in front of people. Do not get stuck by creating things and stopping and starting. The very idea of pitching yourself for these early opportunities often stops people in their tracks before they ever get started. But if you know what you're about and you're connected to your passion, it will be infinitely easier to make the pitch because you truly believe in the value that you are bringing. So here's the deal, energy plus passion equals 50% of the success. All right. Constantly, I want you just to think about this. Be on a journey to figure out who you are, what lights you up. When it comes to pitch presentations, your energy and passion count for 50% of the success. And I'm saying this again because I want this to swim around your head. Don't forget this. And of course, I know this sounds like the easiest piece, but it's actually the most challenging to maintain because it requires a high level of intention. You can learn the tips and tricks from every sales expert under the sun. But if you don't have that sparkle in your eye, pep in your step, fire in your belly, your pitch will fall flat every time. Okay? So here's the deal. I recognize that when you are pitching, after you make it real, you've got to think about, how do I build meaningful and relevant trust? Let me say it to you a different way. Trust is the emotional glue of all relationships. In your workbook, catch this, in 3 to 7 seconds, someone is deciding if they are going to do business with you. In that 3 to 7 seconds, they are deciding know, like, trust. Your listener wants to know that you're not a flash in the pan and you will stand the test of time. So let me prove this to you. Years ago, I wrote the book Release Your Brilliance. And Release Your Brilliance was a self published book that I sold 17,000 copies out of the back of my trunk over 18 months. Now, the reason that number is important, research says that the average book in its lifetime does not sell 500 copies. So I decided that I wanted to pitch the book to New York and California publishers. And so we sent out a query letter to say, hey, who's interested in the book? And I got 13 rejections letters. I mean, dear John, no, 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 no. And I'm telling you, I was really disappointed. So I went to speak at an event in Las Vegas. I'll never forget it. Lady comes up to me after. She said, young man, do you have a book deal? I said, no. She said, let me introduce you to Joe. Joe at that time was the COO of Hudson, which is one of the largest book or largest airport locations. Hudson stores are in all the airports around the country, and they also are the largest purchaser of books in airports. So I made a presentation to 400 of their general managers, and Joe said to me, take a walk with me. And we were at Mandalay Bay there in Las Vegas. And we walked next door. I'll never forget this. It was just like yesterday. And he introduced me to all 13 of those publishers that said no to me. And the conversation went like this. This young man has given a presentation to our 400 general managers. We would like for you to give him a book deal. And I just kind of looked and they looked and I was like, is this how it works? So needless to say, fast forwarding, I get back to Orlando, call a buddy of mine. He says, what happened? I tell him what happened. He says, well, you can't go to New York alone. You need an agent. He introduces me to an agent. The agent finds out that there are a number of publishers interested in the book: HarperCollins, Putnam Penguin, Hyperion, which was owned by Disney. And as I began to do my research on the agent, turns out the agent was the agent of record for a guy. I don't know if you know this guy. He's out of Houston, Texas. His name is Joel Osteen. That was the agent of record for him, and a guy named T.D. Jakes. And also, they had published Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And here I am, Simon T. Bailey from Buffalo, New York, and this agent says, we're going to take you to New York City. So sure enough, I'm there in New York City, and I had written this book over, it was my life's work, because you remember what I shared with you, the whole experience of writing it. And so I had to pitch the folks at HarperCollins and pitch Putnam Penguin and pitch Hyperion. The folks at Hyperion, of course, said, so tell me, how exactly did you leave Disney? I said, you give me a deal, I'll tell you. But I'll never forget, I'm sitting in the meeting at HarperCollins, and in walks this guy named Joe, another Joe. And his name was Joe Testatori. This was about 11 years ago. And Joe came in, and he was the big cheese. He was the man. And he said to me, young man, we don't have a lot of time. He said, are you familiar with the book Good to Great? I said, yes, sir. He said, that's our book. He said, are you familiar with the book Winning by Jack Welch? I said, yes, sir. He said, that's our book. He said, we would certainly like to have Release Your Brilliance a part of the fold. And I said, well, okay. And he said, so you want to be a best-selling author? And here's what I said. Here's the pitch. I said I would prefer to be an effective author And if I'm effective, I'll be best selling. And I said it in the moment. And he said, wow, we've never had that type of answer before. But I knew that my book was the perfect solution to the marketplace because our world had changed. So, net, fast forwarding, yes, HarperCollins got the book. They published it in hardcover. It's now been published in Spanish. It's been published in Portuguese. It's been published in India and soon to be in China. But here's the net. What I discovered in that book is I began to talk about something called the age of brilliance because I had been reading the tea leaves of the times that we live in. And what I discovered is that within the last 100 years, our world has shifted from the agricultural age to the industrial age to the knowledge age to what some call the creative age or what I call the brilliance age or the age of brilliance. And I began to talk about this and why this was important. And now remember, I'm talking about how do you create relevancy when you're pitching, okay? So I was able to share this with them because I also understood the metrics, what was happening in our world. So the Society of Human Resource Management surveyed 15,000 HR professionals in 72 nations. And they said that within the next 3 to 5 years, the economy was shifting towards a project-based economy. That means gone are the days where people will show up and work a job for 30 years. As they would say here in the South, that dog won't hunt. All right. Another study that I came across was from McKinsey that says by 2025, 250 million knowledge worker jobs will be eliminated because of automation. But wait, there's more. If there are 310 million people that live in the United States, about 150 million actually are in the workforce. And according to research, 47% of the 150 million workers in the United States are freelancers. So when you think about this gig economy or individuals that have, newsflash, side hustle, okay? So it's all about understanding where are things going and how do I position myself to be relevant. So what I began to realize is that every single one of you listening to me right now, as you've heard these metrics, these stats, I want you to now think about in your business as an entrepreneur, right? What's the solution or the piece of the puzzle that you bring to the marketplace? What I began to do in my presentations when I saw the times changing from Release Your Brilliance, we've now written 10 books. Book number 10 will be out in a few weeks. What we begin to discover is that I had to give takeaways in our presentations. I had to challenge individuals to opt in to use some of the solutions, suggestions, and recommendations that we gave them. And even in the pitch, before the client said yes, they wanted to know, what will our people walk away with? So, what we realized at Simon T. Bailey International is that we have a piece of the puzzle and we invite people to take the piece that we have to offer so that it can fit into the bigger puzzle of their world and create their future. So we become the catalyst to teach people how to become fearless and how to become the catalyst for themselves. So you might be saying, you know what? I'm a health and fitness coach. In your pitch to prospective new clients, you might say something along the lines, when I started my business, I wanted to make having a healthy, active lifestyle accessible to everyone. A simple system for busy people was our mantra. Since then, the health and wellness market has gotten even more complicated and confusing. Should you count your calories, the sugar, the fat grams? Do you need to pack in the cardio, strength training? For our clients, we've become the trusted resource for eliminating the overwhelm that prevents people from taking action toward improving their health. In fact, research shows that the diet and fitness plan that you actually stick with over the long term is the one that will work best for you. By creating that plan, 80% of our clients reach and maintain their goal levels of fitness. Now, everyone that's listening to me, do you see how the relevance is woven throughout that short passage? We've shared a story. I'm curious, how many of you, just by show of hands or just in the chat box, can you see the relevance of how what I just shared with you, how we wove that in there? Just say yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Very good. Yes, yes, absolutely. It's woven in there. Okay. So here's the deal. We've shared a story, positioned it inside a larger context, okay, backed it up with research, and shared the metrics of our results. When demonstrating relevance, make sure you don't lose sight of the secret. Number one, keep it real, all right? Don't lose sight of that because that's really important. And when you keep it real, and everybody knows that you are connected, they're right there in the moment with you. All right. So keep it true to your passion, your solution, your problem, your processes. Make sure you're focusing on the point you're really trying to make about your business and not just adding in a bunch of fluff to make yourself sound like you know what you're talking about. All right. Because I'm telling you, they're going to sniff you out and they're going to be like, make a note to self. All right. So far, we've talked about how do you begin to make it real? How do you keep it relevant? But here's the last of the secret. How do you now begin to elicit a response? Before every pitch, you should have an answer to the questions. What do you want your audience thinking, feeling, and doing as a result of your pitch presentation? The doing piece will inform the response you're going to elicit at the end of the pitch. And the thinking and the feeling pieces will ensure that you create conditions to achieve the response. Now, here's the deal. I want you to pay close attention here because I've noticed where people really drop the ball and where people really struggle. They never ask for the sale. Hello, hello, hello. I just had a Lionel Richie moment, an Adele moment there. Hello. But you never ask for the sale. You got to ask for the sale because when you know what you're worth and the value and investment you've made, you invite people to join you on that journey and saying, yeah, you know what? Let me ask for that. And here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'm gonna give you something that's so important and so profound. After you ask for the sale, all right, I want you to be quiet, relax, and own the moment. Now, you know you just killed it. And it's that drop the mic moment. Just shh, shh, shh. Be quiet. Don't oversell it. Sometimes in the pitch, people oversell and outsell the pitch when the client was already sold. All right. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pose a question to the audience that you've made the pitch to. And here's exactly what you say. And this is what we say in our business every day. After everything that I've shared today, what do I need to do to earn your business? Or how can we move forward? Here's where you are really trying to identify if there's any other information you need to deliver, questions you need to answer. This is where you turn over every rock, every stone, and you're just getting to the bottom line of, did we cover everything? All right. And it can feel uncomfortable to ask for a response. However, the whole power of pitching is getting eyeballs and ears to want to distribute your product or service. You owe it to your audience, you owe it to yourself to get the solution and get an answer that you want from them to say, yes, we want to work with you. Now, many of you are familiar with Shark Tank. And what's interesting about Shark Tank is they have 3 minutes or less. In 3 minutes, they have to say, here's why the sharks would work with them, should work with them. They are demonstrating their passion. They have a proof of concept. And then certainly Mr. Wonderful, who is sitting in the middle, says, show me the beef. They want to know what's your revenue like. All right, 3 minutes or less. You can use the framework of pitching that we have shared with you thus far, and you can create a 30-second pitch, a 3-minute pitch, a 20-minute pitch. If you can have multiple formats, all right? But what pitching does, it increases your confidence every single day. Not too long ago, I had an opportunity to fly up to New York City to make a pitch before some media executives, and I had 4 minutes to pitch. So the first minute and a half, I told them a little bit about myself, gave them my backstory, and I was going to pitch them on this viral video that at that time had maybe about 50 million views. All right. Then I would say, here's what I would do if I were a guest on your show. And then in that final minute, here were the key takeaways. My goal was to connect with them in 3 to 7 seconds and then let them know that I had thought about the process, that I had already done the work for them. It was already done, and I was taking the guesswork out. Would I be a fit or not be a fit? The way I elicited a response was by asking at the end, based on what I've shared, can I follow up with you beyond today to further flesh out the media brief? Because this media brief is what got me in the room, right? So here's the whole thing. When you think about where you are, who are you pitching? What does that pitch look like? And here's the deal. There are going to be times when you are rejected, all right? They're just not going to accept what you have pitched. And I invite you, oh brilliant one, that when you experience that denial of your pitch, I want you to get back up and I want you to say, wow, how can I go after it again? All right. How do I ensure that I not give up? So we have given you 3 secrets, 3 insights on pitching. Now, if you really want to be an effective salesperson, or you might say, Simon, I'm not a salesperson. So, how about a more effective presenter who pitches successfully? Then you've got to think about, how do you master public speaking? Because here's the deal. Warren Buffett, when you look at this quote, and certainly I want to make sure you write this down, you can improve your value by 50% by just learning the communication skills of public speaking. All right. So we've given you the secrets. We've taught you how to pitch. Now you've got to think about, how do I improve in my public speaking? And here's why. Speaking is the new marketing. It's your greatest distribution opportunity that you have. This is a channel that is often untapped. And I believe this: if speaking is the new marketing, what does it do for you? It allows you to differentiate your brand in a noisy marketplace. A brand is not just your name on a business card with the company logo. A brand is an emotion, a connection, a perception, a moment, and a memory. And so, whatever your business might be, I want you to think about, how am I really presenting my business in a fresh new way? Am I looking for outlets to accelerate my business by speaking? Then, when you think about this as a distribution channel, how do you begin to say, wait a minute, how do I share early and often my solution to common problems every single day? I can tell you, when I launched out 15 years ago, from literally 2004 to 2014, I was doing and generating about 6 figures in revenue. All right, 6 figures annually in revenue. The first year that we crossed over into the 7 figure mark was 2015. And we have done 7 figures annual revenue in our business since 2015. And I don't tell you that to impress you. I tell you that it's documented in my tax return. So I'm not making this up. Sometimes people make stuff up to prove a point. No, this is for real, for real. So since 2015, 2016, 2017, we crossed over seven figures, and we've already exceeded that for 2018. But we recognize this is that speaking got us there. Now, here's the deal. Because of speaking, it allowed us to land a six-figure contract, consulting contract. Because of speaking, we got a six-figure book contract. Because of speaking, we were able to leverage a strategic partnership with LinkedIn Learning and lynda.com, all because of speaking. But wait a minute, it's not just me. This brilliant man, Phil Pallen, we had an opportunity to work with him. Phil is one of the smartest brand experts that we have ever met. In fact, he redid our website, and we started talking to him about the power of pitching and public speaking. And he realized that he needed a distribution channel, so he started speaking. But then there's Tom Bellew, and Tom's story is just amazing. Tom sold his company, then decided that he wanted to launch a podcast, and he did it. And his platform through speaking has allowed him to reach millions of people because he leveraged this platform of speaking. And now he's creating a series of comic books that will be launched this month in New York City. Speaking became a tool he used to get eyeballs on his content. Now he's able to step into his dream of writing. But then there's Kim Perrell. Kim Perrell is an entrepreneur, CEO, and angel investor with more than a decade of experience in digital marketing. And she is now building her speaking presence and her platform to pour into other entrepreneurs. And her book, The Execution Factor, is a must read. So here's the whole deal. Speaking and presenting is the skill. It is the skill I believe you need that will accelerate your business. And if you believe me, then here's the thing. I want you to stay until the end so that you can make sure you get this free download that I promise to help you jumpstart your pitch presentations and everything that you are working on. So you're probably saying, okay, Simon, this is great. This is wonderful. Tell me more. Well, here's the deal. You have showed up for this webinar because you're hungry, you're committed, and you are ready to flourish in your business. The problem is you're not sure how to move yourself to the next level. You don't know how to get yourself in front of the right people and decision makers. And even if you do, you're not clear about how to position yourself or your work to get the support you need. I know that you are a seeker of truth. Yes, I do, my friend. I know you are. And you're saying, you know what? I intend to grow. But being able to master the pitch is the single most important thing that has allowed me to turn my side gig into $1 million business. You've been stuck in neutral long enough. It's time for you to finally get noticed by the right people so that you can grow your business and gain the traction you've been working so hard to achieve. So you're probably saying, how do I do it? How do I make this happen? Well, you're probably saying to yourself right now, how can I take what I'm learning and fast track my business? Okay, here's what I want you to do. Think of a product, service, or offer you'd like to sell. Make a list of companies or people you would love to know about it. Using the pitch proposal template I'm about to give you, build a compelling story about that idea. Show it to 3 people for feedback. Send the proposal to companies or people you want to see it. You can use LinkedIn or other online tools to take your best guess about who is the best stakeholder who would be responsible for not only receiving this, but getting it. And then here's the deal. Start practicing your pitch presentation. Don't wait for the phone to ring. As you start sending this pitch proposal out, you will start getting calls back. Be ready. Now, here's the deal. You can do it alone. You can go it alone. But if you do this on your own, it can feel like pushing water uphill. I would know because I did it. You're not sure where to start, how to order, how to structure your ideas, or how not to come off like a salesperson. You spend a lot of time in the trial and error phase trying to figure it out, and the frustration can lead to burnout or self sabotage. Or you can get mentored by me, because to go it alone, it will take you longer and cost you more. It will cost you in terms of your time, because you'll spend a lot of time reading, listening to podcasts, and building presentations that fall flat and do not earn you any business. And it will cost you money. The money you miss out on each time your presentation isn't compelling enough to make the sale, much less what you spend on PowerPoint templates that are not effective. Remember, your pitch presentations are the way you market yourself, and also they form the distribution arm of your company. It's vitally important as an entrepreneur or small business owner that you figure this out sooner than later. If you want to know what your visuals should look like, how to remember exactly what to say without using notes, what to do with your hands, how to build a message that connects with your audience, I have something for you, and it's called Brilliant Presenter. When you work with me, you will learn easy and simple ways to be an effective communicator at a moment's notice. I simplify and demystify the presentation process by giving you acronyms and frameworks that I've spent years building and refining in the marketplace. This is the stuff that I actually use to this day when I'm working with major companies. I will teach you how to plan out your message ahead of time and give you tools to be able to record your content in the moment. Guys, these are all my best kept secrets that so far I have only shared with my most elite clients. Working with me, you'll have that coach in your ear and the champion you need to give you the play and push you forward. Brilliant Presenter will equip you with the tools to advance your career or business, the mindset to maintain your momentum, and the power to move your mark. As a certified speaking professional, I have literally paid the price. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in my own professional development. Not only that, I've put in the hours to achieve mastery. Like doctors invest in medical school, like lawyers invest in going to law school, as a speaker, I've invested in going to several of the best thought leaders on the planet to learn from them. And now you get the benefit of me passing on to you what I've learned from them. And then you have realized that I've compounded hours with my sweat equity that I've put into speaking, traveling, writing, and building relationships with people in business so that you can benefit from it. In this course, you'll get 3 modules each with 6 to 8 videos of my best presentation advice, a 20-page personalized workbook to take the content from concept to practice, and access to me through the student-only Facebook group. In Module 1, there are 6 videos where I will teach you how you should look during your presentation, what your body should be doing, how you should speak, and how you should tell your story. These are the ways to position the content that you want to convey to the person that you are pitching or presenting to, and it allows you to show up in a fresh way. I believe this module is the critical foundation to really understand how to convey your message. Module 2 has 5 videos that will focus on your audience, specifically starting with why are you giving this presentation? Who is your audience? How do you connect with your audience? How do you involve them? How do you handle questions? God forbid if you have that person in the audience who's a heckler or problem. And then how do you handle questions when you are with your audience so that as you are pitching or presenting, you're really, really connecting with that audience in a fresh way. Module 3 has 8 videos that focus on your message. What outcome do you want? What is the outcome for the audience? How do you craft your message so everybody gets what you want? How do you create the right visuals around your message? How do you humanize that message? How do we unpack the brilliant presenter formula? You're going to understand how to prepare your presentation and close your presentation. The Brilliant Presenter Workbook is really about if you think it, ink it. And more importantly, it becomes a viewer guide that is designed to help you achieve maximum retention of the material. So you are going to hear me share different things that I want you to write down, but it's also going to trigger some additional thoughts in you because we all hear through filters. And as you write things down based on what you've heard, it's really cementing to your head, your heart, and your hands your key takeaways, and that workbook becomes your go-to place to remind you of everything that you've heard. And here's where the mentorship comes in. You'll be added to the Brilliant Presenter Facebook group where I will give you case studies of my best speeches to dissect and explore. This isn't some hands-off Facebook group. I'm really in there with you. I believe this is your key to the future, and I want to give you everything you need to be successful in the private Facebook community. Making change in your career or business requires intention. It's not always easy to remember to stop and focus on affirming ourselves and our goals. Because this is such a major part of creating your success, I'm giving you as a bonus my ebook, Meditate on Your Professional Brilliance, which includes 52 business-related affirmations, one for each week of the year, that will guide you to being an exceptional individual and creating the organizational results that you deserve and want every single day. I'm also going to give you as a bonus the complete Shift to Brilliance system. If you pair this with the Brilliant Presenter program, you'll not only have the tools to nail the pitch, but you will have in your hands what enables me to reinvent myself. It's my checklist, my tools, my strategy before I go into meetings. There are two 30-minute coaching calls. They are one-to-one with me, and these mentoring calls will be laser focused on you. The first call is to assess how you are presenting and what you need to do in moving forward. The second call will be after you've implemented what you've learned in the modules, and on the first call, I will give you a prescriptive, unique solution about what you need to do. These calls will catapult you towards success and give you exactly what you need to do to move forward in your career and business. Now, I normally charge $1,500 for private coaching like this, and I don't do it because I travel so much. But I believe that coaching is so incredibly valuable. I'm going to offer it to you for this price while I can. The value of everything that you are seeing thus far, the course content, the Brilliant Presenter Workbook, the one-to-one coaching with me, 2 specific calls, meditate on your personal brilliance, and shift to brilliance is $4,272 of total value. You will receive all of that value for $897. I'm offering this mentorship at this price because I believe so greatly in this work. So get it now, because as this program grows, the cost of this mentorship will grow because it's just not scalable for me to do it with too many people. But I wanted to give it to you now at this introductory rate because I know it's going to change your life and career. If you're not quite ready to get mentored directly by me, maybe you want to do a little bit more exploration and preparation before you get on the phone. This option is for you. You get all of the value I described, the modules, the workbook, the Facebook group for $597. That's right, $597. The only thing that's not included here is the 2 mentoring calls. This, along with the free pitch proposal template, is going to give you everything you need to get pitching, presenting, and building your business. Now, since you signed up for this webinar and you've stayed with me for the entire hour, I know that you're serious about pursuing your dreams. For this audience only, I'm offering this program at $297. Use the code PERFECTPITCH to start today. You won't find this deal anywhere else. Visit shift.simontbailey.com/Brilliant Presenter. You'll see the promo code PERFECTPITCH to take advantage of the special webinar participant pricing. Money back guarantee. If you do the work, show me your workbook, participate in the Facebook group, apply the information, give a presentation, and you're still not seeing results, I guarantee a 100% refund. I believe so strongly in this work that I guarantee you'll see results. And if for some reason you're not feeling it, I'll give you your money back because I don't want to waste your time. I want to help you succeed, but you have to do the work and give yourself a chance first. I will require that of you. For just the program content alone, without any personal mentorship or peer workshop component, I would charge $2,225 for this half day of instruction. No workbook, no mentorship, no support after the event. You're getting the content, the workbook, and the Facebook group where I'll be with you week after week, month after month, helping you to apply the information for $597. And if you select a mentorship offer, you're getting a crazy deal. For $300 more, you're getting what I would normally charge an additional $1,500 for. Why? Because I'm so fired up by what this mentorship and coaching has done in the lives of my mentees that I want to make it accessible to a wider range of people. I don't just want the rich to keep getting richer. I want you to break out of the rut you've been in, seize the promotion you deserve, and then be able to pour back into others yourself. When you go to the order page, you'll create your account, log in, and you'll receive instant access to the online content. Then you'll get an email from our team with the information you need to join the Brilliant Presenter private Facebook group. If you choose the VIP experience, you'll also get an email from my team to book your first mentorship call. Don't forget to download the pitch proposal template that I promised you. You'll see the instructions on the screen. Download it now. That's it, folks. I hope you'll join our Brilliant Presenter community. And like Anna and Willie, you'll be well on your way to building the business or career of your dreams. If you have any questions, email me at hello@simontbailey.com. and someone will respond to you as soon as possible. Have a brilliant day.